What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 61 of the Chumpcast. I apologize for the delayed release, but as you will soon hear, I was visited by my old friend and constantly wrong old person, Erik Tofte. Our bender got a little bit out of hand, so here we are. This week is just a random smattering of things since I do not hate myself enough to go see Geostorm starring Gerard Butler, but we have a litany of dumb questions, a little bit of news, and a fall entertainment preview for you. I also want to give some credit to Mark, who launched our website earlier this week, so you can check out thechumpcast.com for all of our episodes, links to our merch, upcoming blog posts, and tons more. As always, you can email us at thechumpcast@gmail.com, get us on Twitter and Instagram at thechumpcast, or message me directly for Tofte's home address and a list of his greatest fears. If you like us, you can find our merch through our website, that's thechumpcast.com, or leave us a review on iTunes. It would really piss off Kim Jong-il if you did that. If you love your country and hate communism, think about it. Enjoy the show.
I kind of like that outlook, though. Only buying one-way flight tickets, just like,
Maybe I'll
what
die.
the fuck's
Who
going to
knows?
happen.
Am I going home? Let's let the alcohol decide.
So what are you guys going to be for Halloween?
Ooh.
You don't have to ask me that question because you already know, but...
Well, actually,
I don't
I
know.
did ask you this question last week,
Did you?
and you answered this question.
What? I don't.
In five
I didn't hear
different
it.
ways, but...
Were you
giving the
that?
same
Yes.
answer.
You're going to be the Caped Crusader / the Dark Knight /
Batman.
Yeah.
Are you going to be Batman or the goddamn Batman?
The goddamn Batman.
Oh, that's going to be a lot harder to get treats.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to be way angrier.
Oh, I'm
Stop
completely
mumbling,
in character.
both of you. You
I know.
mumbling sons of bitches.
What
I'm
if I thought I
completely
was
in
being
character.
Bane?
But I'm Bane.
Oh, yes.
Why would you shoot him?
break first.
You shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
Why would you do that?
What is the point of shooting a man before tossing him out of a plane?
You ever seen Zombieland?
Okay,
No.
none of that happens in Zombieland.
It's the double tap.
The double
Jesse
tap-
Eisenberg?
That's why you shoot him twice.
Shoot
That-
him twice, then throw him out of the plane.
Why are you in a plane with a zombie? I've seen World War Z. It doesn't end well.
I don't know that there were any zombies on planes.
Yes,
Were
there was. There was.
See,
When they were flying, I believe, out of Jerusalem.
the book, Max Brooks,
Max Brooks, son of Mel
one
Brooks.
of my favorite books ever.
Okay.
The movie is nothing like that.
True.
So I've pushed the majority of it out of my brain because it made me very angry.
That's understandable and that's fair. But there is absolutely a scene in the movie where there are zombies on a plane.
So what you do is shoot him twice, kick him out of the plane.
That's not what happened because you got to be really careful kicking anyone out of a plane.
What would you do?
Was the door already open?
Eventually, a door was open. It was not supposed to be.
Would you kick or throw someone out of a plane? Like
If
if
it's
you
a
were
zombie,
if you were
you gotta-
sinister villain, what would you do? If you
See,
had a
if
guy?
you're a villain, it's completely different. If you're a villain, that's when you're going to shoot them out of the plane. But if you're a good guy, you're going to Spartan kick them.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
Teeth-
is
teeth
my
in the
plane,
chest.
and then Hataka.
Would you throw him out of the plane and then shoot him while he's free falling?
No,
I would shoot in his general direction,
I
probably
would-
hitting bystanders down below.
I would throw him a parachute.
Bystanders. I haven't heard that word since Nam, dude.
I have,
You
but
were
I was
born
because I was
in
in
the
Iraq.
90s.
So I would throw him a parachute, and then I would shoot the parachute repeatedly.
So
That's
he
what
didn't
I would
have
shoot.
a parachute.
Or he had a parachute. He's like, yeah, I put it on, but he's still going to go way too fast.
What if you gave them a bag that made them think it was a parachute, but in reality it was just like a picnic blanket?
Well, they could still have, I mean, if you've read Dan Brown's, I can't remember if it was Angels and Demons, who used essentially a blanket like that to slow him down.
That's fucking impossible.
Just because it's impossible doesn't mean it can't exist in movies or books.
Or what if you gave him a parachute, but you hit a piece of C4 to it? So as he was free falling, he
That's actually kind of cool.
he basically let his parachute down, descended to the ground, and as he touched on land, you hit your little trigger and he just blew up.
He thinks he's okay.
Yeah, he thinks he's okay. He's so thankful.
You yell from the airplane.
See, I worry about the cost efficiency of that. Because if you're just trying to kill the dude, then the bullet in the head, then throwing out the plane. But then you've got to have like eyes on the ground to make sure you're timing it right. You've got to make sure you've got a remote that's far enough, right? You've got to get the range. Like,
Look, if you're going to set this up, you're going to do it right.
Would you hit the trigger right as he hit the ground? Would you hit
No,
it like
I'd give him
10
2
seconds
seconds.
before he hit
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ground? So he like,
but see, if it's attached to the
Built up all
parachute,
that
you've
hope.
got to be worried because they've got quick releases on them.
yeah.
So if you don't hit it at the right time, how much C4 is going to be on it.
Exactly. That's
of
why
C4.
you put enough C4 on it to take out a city block.
If you see that much C4, it's going to weigh down the actual parachute, and he's not going to have the nice, soft, gentle landing where he's going to be like, oh, this is good. I've survived.
You put it in the backpack, not on the parachute.
Yeah, not on the parachute.
You
it's
put
in
it
the backpack.
on the actual...
What happens when the parachute comes out? Is that not going to
It's underneath the parachute.
You still got the backpack on. You still hike with the backpack.
So it's instead of it's the spare chute, he thinks it's a spare chute, but really it's just a fucking Claymore.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
The Claymore is what you want to go with.
No, Claymore is when you set on the ground. It has those two little lasers that shoot out, right? And
that
if you
is
trip it, it blows up.
unequivocally inaccurate.
Okay, so...
I'm just thinking of Call of Duty.
I'm
just thinking of Call of Duty.
I should probably let you know that he's in the military.
All right,
So
listen.
So maybe future Claymores will have the two laser streams
Then
going
what
up?
the fuck was Modern Warfare doing?
I don't
with the
know. I've
Claymore?
never actually played Modern Warfare.
All
like
right,
the
come
most
on.
in-depth I've gone with video games is literally Angry Birds. Or
So what's the
Plants
difference
vs.
between a
Zombies.
C4 and a Claymore? Is a C4 with the trigger?
So C4 is a type of explosive.
Okay.
Okay. So a Claymore is a shaped charge that has explosive in it. And then it also has like ball bearings and shrapnel, if you want to say that is shaped out so that when it explodes, whether you have like there's blasting caps in it, maybe a little C4 as the explosive product. So it shoots the ball bearings and the shrapnel out in a wide swath. So C4 is an explosive type. Claymore is a type of explosive that will shoot ball bearings and shrapnel out to fuck up a whole area.
So what triggers a Claymore?
Claymores are triggered by an actual trigger.
So what would have the most
triple
concentrated explosion?
a nuclear weapon.
All right, so we're going to put a nuclear
So this is what we're
weapon.
doing. This is what we are doing. We're getting
We're
a
going to put a
nuke.
nuclear weapon
Okay.
in a parachute so that when
Okay.
he drops, he can walk away 10 seconds later, kablooey.
Okay, here's the issue with that. Let's throw this out there. Your plane needs to. How hardened against EMP is your plane? Electromagnetic pulse.
Yes, I know what an EMP is.
I don't know that the listeners.
Why would that
do.
set off the?
Well, if your
C4?
plane is not hardened against it, it's going to fry all of your electronics.
Damn it!
And if you're in a plane and your electronics go, you're gonna have a bad day.
Joke's on you, I'm in a glider.
Okay.
So
Well, even if you weren't, you
I'm
are
in a
now.
hot air balloon.
I mean, people do parachute off a hot air balloon, so I'll
There
grant
you
you
go.
that as credit. But what if, like, the
I'm in a
goes blimp?
Zeppelin. I almost said
Why are
that
you in a Zeppelin?
because the Nazis
What
won
part-
World War II.
Listen, I watch Hellsing as well, which brings Zeppelins back in. You seriously need to watch it, especially the abridged. But I don't think you're going to be in a Zeppelin.
You're not my dad.
I'm not your dad. I'm his age, but I'm not your dad. That's why I said think. I don't think you're going to be in a Zeppelin.
This is a fun episode already.
It's already gone tits up.
So when this person touches the ground and you have whatever a Claymore C4 strapped to the back of their
Okay.
backpack without them knowing, would you or would you not have a walkie-talkie also in that backpack so you could just say to them as they hit the ground, "You thought it was going to be that easy?"
No, you got to have something way more clever.
What would
than
you
that.
say? What would you say, or would you not do that?
Well, here's the problem.
I would definitely be like,
Is the walkie-talkie supposed to be your trigger? Because if the walkie-talkie is your trigger, then you won't have enough time
Stop
to do the
thinking
shit
about
ton.
this logistically. Think about this.
You meant
as if-
legitimately.
No, I'm thinking logistically. You're thinking logistics.
You
like
meant indigenously.
I meant indigenous.
Okay.
actually, the trigger is when he unstraps his backpack.
See, that's a good one. That's better. And if that sets off what's the reserve shoot / Claymore or C4, that's
nuke.
/
Joke's on him. He caused his own death.
But he will never know. Like, do you want, like, because if he sets off a nuke, he doesn't know he's dead.
See, you're not thinking about this in terms of a Schwarzenegger, you got to have a one-liner type thing. And that's exactly what we're here to do.
So what's your one-liner before setting off a nuke that's essentially in someone's
Yes,
back pocket?
you dropped a walkie-talkie in his backpack. What would you say to him?
Is it just like a YouTube video of the Predator pressing the buttons and making the explosion hand?
Yes, but you hit the button on the walkie-talkie
Okay.
and you say, Tofte, it was nice to nuke you.
I hate it. Okay.
You're not supposed to love it.
Now,
You're
which-
about to get blown up by a nuke.
See, I thought when you were saying Schwarzenegger, I thought you were talking Golden Age Schwarzenegger or Golden Age Schwarzenegger. I didn't know you were talking, Batman and Robin.
Chill.
Like that's what
Think of
that
a
it was
better
nice
one
to
then.
nuke.
I would just be like, and for a second, I didn't think you would fall for it.
He's already
That one's
better.
better.
That's
That one's
better.
better.
That's
Yeah.
better.
I can admit when I've been bested.
That's the first time I've ever heard it, and I've almost always seen you be bested.
Or your cover's been
Blown.
blown.
So he's a spy now.
He's
Is
gotta
he
be
not a spy? He's parachuting out of an airplane with a nuke attached to his ass. How is he not a spy?
Sorry to see you. Sorry to see you fall out.
No.
See, Fallout's the right one. I don't think that works. But Fallout, I think, is right. Like, oh, I'm sorry, we have such a big fallout, and then the nuke goes off. But Fallout works there the best, other than, fall for it, which falling from an airplane, like, it's all good.
I think Fallout, nuclear fallout.
Fallout, yeah.
It's too bad you never got to hit the ground running, because he would explode right as he touched the ground.
Glad to see you hit ground
zero. Yeah. But that's got so much, like, just sad kind of.
How about this one?
Yeah.
How about this one?
Sad.
Yeah.
I fucked your wife.
Then why? Okay.
Wait, what?
But if that's your final line, why kill him? Let him live with that internal death.
Yeah. For some reason, he doesn't take the
fucking stupid.
For some reason, he doesn't take the backpack off for like
he
a week.
He just keeps it on forever.
Like you didn't even want it to go that way. You thought he was gonna instantly take off the backpack so you die. Only with like a couple of minutes of knowing you fucked his wife, but he decides to leave the backpack on for weeks and overthink the whole
My wife's straight. I can't take off my reserve chute. What if I jump again?
The way you delivered that. I fucked your wife.
It came so far out of left field. Like, oh, you just survived jumping out of a plane in a nuclear blast, but guess what? I fucked your wife. So now he's dead on the inside. So technically the mission's accomplished.
Yeah. Mission is accomplished.
Mission is accomplished.
I'm crying.
It might be better if he's alive on the outside, but dead on the inside.
Wow.
Oh my God. I completely lost my train of thought.
How do you intro that?
I don't know. I think that's a pretty good intro right there.
We're going to have a discussion about Claymore and more and more and more. And you know what? Someone's going to fuck someone else's wife.
Wow.
Live.
That's the ultimate fucking treatment right there.
Like, that was a good indigenous pun right there. That's the ultimate fucking.
That was 10
That one
long.
worked well. You've got to admit that one worked well.
But I want to ask you guys all these dumbass
Are we not
questions.
doing gay fish?
Now that
We're not. We'll save
Okay.
that for another
now that we're
time.
on the topic of just ridiculous scenarios,
Been on that topic for.
I have a bunch of questions I found online, actual questions from actual people. And some of them, when I was reading them,
I hate actual people.
some of them I was like, all right, okay, this is stupid. But some of them I was like, wait.
Wouldn't you just go
I
on
don't know.
Reddit and just go to Ask Reddit?
Now-
Something like that. I did a little more digging than
Now
necessary.
with the weight, was it weight? This is especially stupid. This is high levels of stupid, or this is possibly sensible.
That and weight. Let me think about this for a second.
Okay.
Number one, you got to think about this one a little bit. If a dead human is still called a human, at which point of decomposing do you stop calling his remains human? His or her, I guess, but.
When they're dead, they're just hookers.
Okay, so you don't refer to the dead human as a human or dead person as a person.
Well, when they're alive, they're call girls, and when they're dead, they're hookers. Have you never
Right.
watched Archer?
As
I
soon as
haven't
you roll them up in
Yeah.
a rug, they become hookers.
Yes.
Do characters living in the movie Cars have life insurance or car insurance?
Neither, because they don't play by your rules.
Stupid.
But is it also not kind of right? Well, that depends. Do humans exist in the Cars world? Has it ever been
We've
disproven?
talked about this, and it'd be really fucked up if humans did.
They don't really have doors. And also, what's the point? Because the cars have jobs. Like, the cars are the ones that are the mechanics.
So you're telling me that the Cars took her gerbs?
Cars
Yes.
took all their jobs.
Took her gerbs. They even took the race car driving gerbs.
True story.
All right, so they fucking better have some insurance because the people from South Park are coming for their
No,
ass.
they need some unemployment is what they need.
Well, I mean, they need to replace.
All right, we'll go to the next one. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No. Okay. I agree with that.
It's essentially a hamburger. Is a hamburger a sandwich?
Yes.
But
A hamburger is not a sandwich. It's
Yes,
its
it
own.
is. It's meat between two buns.
So how is a hot dog not a sandwich?
Because it's got an open top.
yeah, technically with a sandwich, the two pieces of bread are separate. With a hot dog, you don't necessarily separate the bread. You kind of, even though
I've
it
had
has
Subway
a crease,
sandwiches where it's just kind of cut down diagonally, but it's not two completely separate pieces. You're going to run into that. Like it's
Also, I would argue
You're
that
gonna
Subway
run
is not
into
a
that.
sandwich.
okay. Subway is in fact terrible. Now here's a counter to that I've had since I was in high school. So we're talking like the 70s. Uncrustables, right? The pre-made peanut butter jellies.
You are the only grown-up I know that eats those.
I'm not saying I currently eat them. I do. But you know what they are. Would you consider an Uncrustable to be a sandwich or a pocket?
The pocket. It's fully enclosed.
I hate both of you.
pocket.
That's fine, but you're
It's a
still
sandwich.
wrong.
Okay, you understand that the box itself says sandwich, right?
I've had plenty of boxes that lied to me.
I'm Pretty sure that was a good reaction to that. Like, I want to go in depth and ask questions, but
I'm immediately going to cut that.
Okay. No, leave that. You fucking leave that in there. It's the best joke of the night so far.
What happens if you call the number on your phone you're using?
It goes to your voicemail.
I don't
Actually,
think so.
no, it does. It goes to that way you can check your voicemail.
You want to test it out? I think it's just a dial tone.
No.
Here's an additional
sure?
question. Why did they call it a television set when there's only one?
Because they used to all come with VCRs.
Do you want a real
No
answer to
idea.
that?
I have no idea.
As long as the answer is not, I fucked your wife.
You look so confident right now. You're like, do you want a real answer to that?
I fucked your...
What? That's what I asked the answer, not to be specifically.
All right, next. Is orange juice named after the fruit or color? Oh my God.
I was asking about this earlier. No, I was asking about this earlier.
Mine is blown.
You
were asking about this earlier.
I asked about LaCroix.
Literally,
If it
you
was
asked
named
this
after,
question
I
today.
asked if it was named after the flavor or the color.
Today.
Erica was underwhelmed by the question.
Did
No,
you
she
submit
was
this question?
perplexed.
Did you submit the question?
No, it was, but I've heard that question before. The chocolate goes as well. Is chocolate named after the color or the flavor?
Chocolate isn't a color.
You tell me there's not a chocolate brown?
Racist.
What?
He said racist.
What flavor is my beer if it's in an orange can?
Probably light peach.
Wait, so where are you leaning right now? Is it because of the color or the fruit?
The fruit. When you drink grape juice, they don't call it purple juice.
I do.
No, you're referring to purple drank, which is not grape juice.
It's sugar, water, purple. How is that any
Exactly.
different?
That's very different.
What's the difference? Okay, what is juice? What the fuck is juice?
All right, hold on. All right, let's move on. This is actually a really good one. If someone under the age of 21 were to accidentally break a bottle of alcohol, would the rule, you break it, you buy it, still legally apply?
Why are they in a liquor store anyway?
Yes, it would.
That
Because
can be
essentially
solved
at that
because,
point they're
let's say
paying
the
for the
person's
bottle.
in Jewel or something, walking down the aisle with their mom.
If you break the bottle, you can't drink it anyway.
See, I forget the fact.
I don't mean like shattered. What if they hit the bottle's
shatters.
top
Is-
cracked off or something?
See, I'm like in where I live, you can't just go to any Jewel or Walmart and get like a bottle. So you have to go to a
Okay,
special.
you guys
store.
are completely avoiding the question.
Okay, no, what I was going to say is, yes, you break it, you buy it applies because you're buying the bottle knowing that you're not taking it home. So you're essentially paying for the product that you broke
And they don't
without
keep
keeping
it. Okay.
Yes.
Get out of here with your logic.
Good answer.
It's the last time all weekend you'll hear it.
I don't think there's an answer to this next question. I just thought it was
Can't
funny.
wait to give you an answer for this next question.
Okay.
The definitive one.
I don't know if this is...
About plowing your wife.
I'm for it.
Hold on. Let me think about it. What's the whole thing with Canadians being nice? They're just
My
nice
old
people?
brother-in-law was Canadian. He was actually pretty nice dude.
They're nice people.
Yeah.
But why? Is it some like
they have
underlying
health
reason?
care.
How much of their diet is based off maple syrup? So they're always on a sugar.
Oh, I love maple syrup, your boat.
I don't know what
They-
you're doing.
That
But
is
it's
not-
correct.
That's like Norwegian.
Yes. I mean, the accent is wrong, but maple syrup does make people
I
happy.
hit the a boot.
A boot?
I just put a little Irish accent
Like
on
one
it.
of
A boot.
the, why would you put an Irish accent on a Canadian?
Your Conor McGregor is much like your Canadian accent.
Yes.
terrible.
Yes.
But
Also
I mean, some of their treats are straight up just pouring maple syrup on snow and then rolling it in a stick.
Could you see in complete darkness, like you are somewhere under the earth where there's absolutely no like light? Would your eyes like ever adjust, or would it be like complete darkness?
What sorority were you in when
This
you
is
thought
an
of this
adaptation
question?
question, I guess. But
yeah,
Do you
I
think
feel
you
like
would
I'm
adapt
dumber
to
for having
darkness?
listened
No.
to that. So
No.
you don't think you would adapt to darkness?
No.
if you're an
Adaptation like that takes generations.
Moving on.
That's the whole point of the X-Men. He hates to admit this, but
no,
I'm not
that's
wrong.
Actually, that's wrong.
Okay, but it's
Wow,
okay.
that's-
So wait. If you're going to say that's wrong, an individual, like if I was to have an issues with light myself, unless I had the X gene, I would not adjust to it. But if my child
Both
then
of your,
had the X gene,
both of your parents would have to have a dormant X gene.
that's not what I believe it
I'm
was
sorry,
X2 said.
Can I refer
Can I
you
finish?
to
Can I finish?
alleles?
To Alleles? I've heard of Alleles, right? She was a singer and then died in a plane crash.
That is, I was
Aaliyah?
going to say Adele, but she's still alive.
I think it was
I think you're,
Aaliyah.
oh, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. If at first you don't succeed, brush yourself
Yeah.
off and fuck your wife.
Wait a second. She wasn't in a plane crash. Wasn't that Lisa Left Eye Lopez?
Lisa Left Eye Lopez, I know for sure burned down a house,
Oh,
but I don't know
Jesus.
that she was in a plane crash.
This took a very dark
She was
turn.
also my favorite member of TLC by far.
You had a favorite member of TLC.
You either had
Who was your
Lisa
favorite member of LFO?
F.
they sing Abercrombie and Fish, right?
Yes.
One of them got to date Jennifer Love Hewitt for an extended period of time.
I loved her.
Oh God,
I still love her.
Yes. So he's my favorite member out of sheer jealousy.
Did you guys see the Boy Meets World with Jennifer Love Hewitt when
No.
she was
I actually
Feffy or whatever they were calling her?
hated that show.
Did you hate Topanga though?
No.
Did you fancy Topanga though?
What's a fancy Topanga? That sounds like a sex.
Did you have a attraction to Topanga?
What would you?
The answer
do,
is yes.
What would you do if Corey married Topanga? What would you do to Corey?
That's a weird question, right?
No,
there.
Yeah, that's
no, it's not.
No,
Think
no,
about
it's staged.
If you
it's
do not
phrased
like
staged.
Corey, what would you do to Corey if he married Topanga?
congratulate him.
Fuck his wife.
Yes, you would. I can't believe you didn't get that. Wow.
It took me a while to get it.
Grab
I was like,
another
where the
beer.
fuck is he going
Grab
with this?
another
Fuck
All
his
right,
wife.
God damn it. Moving on. Smithers, this one's for you
Great.
for the most part. Why are boxing gloves called gloves if they're actually mittens? No, don't grab the gun. Put the gun down.
Because I can still jerk off with boxing gloves.
Can you not jerk off with mittens?
I've never tried.
That's not to say you can't do it though.
You've jerked off with boxing gloves?
Don't judge my life.
Which he's actually
I feel like it'd be way harder to do that with boxing gloves than mittens.
I'm sorry. Are you taking that seriously?
well, you just admitted that
These
you
are
jerked
serious
off
questions.
with boxing gloves.
If you're not going to be serious, then you can just walk the fuck out.
His own apartment.
I gotta go.
I gotta go get my boxing gloves.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
I'll take my gloves.
Because
and then go.
boxing mittens sound far less
They
intimidating.
do, but are they not more accurate?
Accuracy is never really the goal.
The boxing mittens, you see.
You do call them mitts.
I don't.
You don't call them anything.
That's also correct.
These are great.
This has hit a nice little snag right there of just silence and hatred.
All right, moving on. If someone created 100% identical money to real money, would it still be quote unquote fake money?
So the question is, if someone was able to make their own real money, would it be real money?
Yes.
So the question is, if someone created their own real money, would it be real money?
So you're talking
Well,
about the
technically,
Federal Reserve.
it's exactly identical to real money.
If I was to take the KFC original recipe and in my own place make the exact same chicken as KFC does,
Yeah.
Technically, not the original.
Very true.
was it the original recipe though? I mean, yes, it's not the first batch that they ever made, which would be the original chicken. But if it's the same original recipe, then the same KFC I'm making in my apartment complex is the same as the KFC 2 houses down from me is making.
If I were to fuck your original wife,
Okay. That's why I don't have her anymore.
Wow.
question ended. How many of these fucking questions are you
All
going
right,
to ask?
I got two more.
Okay.
This is a very high level question. What would you do if you lived for 1,000 years?
Smithers' wife.
What would you do if you lived for 1,000 years, Smithers?
I would be miserable for 1,000 years.
I looked at a lot of the comments. People were like, I'd kill myself. I'd be extremely depressed.
If you're living for 1,000 years, you
I
can't
would
kill
have
yourself.
no
It's part of
long-term
the
friends.
It's part of the question.
You would be very wealthy.
I'd invest in Bitcoin.
But who's to say
What?
Bitcoin
And
is
then
actually
sell
viable?
it a year later, and then
Who's
have
to say
another
it's viable? Who's to say
999.
what
That
it's
has
going to be in a
nothing
year?
to do with
from now.
1,000 years.
No. If you're going to do 1,000 years, you do the ones that you know factually are going to be around in 1,000 years. Bitcoin is still somewhat hypothetical.
It was
If
a
I
joke.
lived
It
for
was a joke,
10,000
but
years,
okay.
I would walk everywhere in the world.
You just walk.
I would just walk.
Wait, now here's where that question gets interesting. Does that mean for 1,000 years you are incapable of dying?
Yes.
So you could do anything. You could fucking jump out of a plane with no
Yeah.
parachute.
Yeah.
And with a nuke tied to my
with
back.
a nuke tied to your back. Exactly. We got some C4 /
I guess it doesn't
So,
specify,
I guess
but
in
we'll
that
assume
case-
yes, you cannot die.
I
Okay,
guess-
so you cannot die. I'm doing everything.
In that case, I would end humanity.
One by one at a time.
How would you do it?
Put me
though?
on the
by
chair.
case.
Put me on the chair. Go ahead.
Case by case.
Bring it on, bitches.
And that's all I got. That is stupid questions, but actually questions you got to think about for a little bit.
Some of them. And some of them are like, don't answer. And Smithers did.
All right, so let's get into our best man alive of the week. Tofte, this is your first time here.
Correct.
I was regaling you earlier with the story of how we started this segment.
Can't stress enough how regaled I was.
You were very regaled to my indigenous story.
I'm still pretty regaled.
Mark, one of our first episodes with Brick, we were discussing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
He's great.
And you said, didn't Time Magazine name him Best Man Alive?
I think I did say that.
And we laughed at you very hard. And ever since then, we've been doing this every week.
I think it actually was People Magazine, and they voted him best looking man alive.
It's just flat out sexiest man alive.
Yes.
All right, maybe that too.
All right.
And Time Magazine is just Man of the Year. So you just kind of, it's an amalgamation of your misunderstanding of different things.
Just culture in general. No, this is what happened. All right.
I misunderstand culture in general.
People Magazine had The Rock as sexiest man alive. Time Magazine didn't know where to go after that because they wanted The Rock for their own little segment.
Who doesn't?
They just did The Rock best man alive. No one's going to not argue with that.
So wait. So you're telling me
not argue with that.
If I was to Google Rock best man alive tomorrow, I would pull up anything other than this exact segment.
You would pull up literally anything other than this segment because no one knows about this segment.
3 people at least know about this segment.
They are not on Google's.
I have the Googles.
Not on the Google's.
At least 2 of us are on Google platforms with our phones, so we're on the Googles.
Can we move on with the segment now?
I don't know how the segment works, so
Great.
Probably.
Cool story, bro.
I'm gonna let Mark go first here.
It's not like a funny one or anything like that. But
wow, great. Way to sell it.
This one hits home though because I technically am from this place and it is my home. The headline is, a Skokie cop could have arrested a teen who kept sneaking into a gym. This gym was actually Export Fitness in Skokie, which I used to work out at, by the way.
Good name drop.
But anyways, this teen kept sneaking into a gym. And instead, this cop bought him a membership. So the Skokie police officer, Mario Valenti, I think his name is Mario Valenti. He helped pay for a teenage boy's Export Fitness membership after his prior membership had expired because his mother could no longer afford it. So Best Man Alive goes out to this Skokie police officer.
Good for him.
All right. Anything to say, Tofte?
World needs more people like him, honestly.
Really? Because earlier I heard you quoted as saying, fuck the police.
Coming straight from the underground. But that's completely different.
It technically was.
That was just when we were talking about like turning rap songs into horror films.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. As our guest, I will allow you to go next.
All right. Can I do 2?
You can do whatever you want, Cupcake.
Okay. If you tell me that the pants are coming off.
I stand by my previous statement.
Okay. I will sit by that statement as well. The one that I just recently showed you this, so I'm gonna reference it because I think you want to play it. One of them will be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, harking back to the best man in the universe according to Time People magazine.
People Times magazine.
He's recently had thoughts on one of his coworkers from the Fast and the Furious series, who has also had thoughts on The Rock. So it's been kind of a back and forth.
It's a catfight.
You know, it's they're cutting promos on each other in the WWE world. And The Rock being the most electrifying man in sports entertainment or entertainment. He let Tyrese know exactly what thought about his most recent album. It was not positive.
Let me hear this.
It was strong-willed. Okay, so yeah, okay. Well,
just a little quick shout out to Tyrese, his new album, Black Rose. I just heard it. I literally just heard it. I heard the whole thing in my trailer, and I've got to say, in all honesty,
don't do it to him. You gotta.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard. Everyone's laughing, by the way, but it's true because everybody's heard it too. Everyone heard it, right? They look at everyone's like, yeah, big piece of dog shit. Shouldn't be called Black Rose. It should be called big piece of black dog shit. That's what it should be called. Not even a hard dried up dog shit for 7 days. It's the soft dog shit. It's like baby shit. It's like that. That's what the album is like. And I never want to hear it again, and I'm never going to fucking forgive him for wasting my time. That is time I will never get back. It's like dog shit is in my ear. Motherfucker.
Oh my God.
And he hit him with the motherfucker at the end.
And what's crazy is I actually saw this a few days ago. I thought he was completely joking. I didn't know about this beef they have currently.
I still am not 100% convinced that they actually hate each other.
I don't know. He looked pretty pissed off.
His job is to display emotions that he's not actually having.
Unless WrestleMania comes around April 8th in New Orleans and they are having a fight, unless the two of them are having a match for money in New Orleans, yeah, that's real.
Got a point there.
I still think that they're going to both be on set for the next Fast and Furious movie because they're both going to want to sit there and collect a paycheck.
Now, just because they're on set doesn't mean they're on the same scene together, because you can take a look at a show like Game of Thrones where 2 of the characters who were in a relationship beforehand, apparently Cersei and Bronn, you'll never see them in the same scene.
Which is a joke, by the way. They're just such fucking divas.
I don't disagree with that.
Neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there. But if the next Fast and the Furious movie, which would be F9.
Who fucking knows?
So when they go to space, when they drive their submarine to space with the afterburners, you won't see the 2 of them in the same cockpit.
That remains to be seen.
If you do, it's going to be CGI.
You don't know that.
I don't know that.
I still think that
just because I don't know something doesn't mean I don't have opinions on it. I'm a voter.
Let's move on.
You and I voted for the exact same person, and that's all we're going to go with that.
We do not do politics here.
I didn't say who. I just said we voted for the exact same person.
I regret telling you that.
I regret telling you it too.
I was more right than you. Great.
We did the same decision. How is one of us more right than the other?
Because I fucked your... Why?
I need to call her really quick and have questions.
Great. This is getting out of hand.
So
I thought it was a joke, and now you're serious, I feel like.
No.
He better not be. I mean, he's more attractive than I am. So if she makes that decision, again, I'll be furious. I'll understand, but I'll be furious.
Love you, Casey. All right, I'm going to give it's actually my worst woman alive of the week. And I'm gonna
already
try
sexist.
Not to go
already
really hard.
Sexist.
It probably is. I will be called sexist, I'm sure, but
you bigot.
Sam Panther is an ESPN personality who is the wife of Christian Ponder, the former Minnesota Vikings quarterback. She called out ESPN2 and Barstool Sports because now on ESPN2, Barstool Big Cat and PFT Commenter have a show.
Awesome.
It airs at literally midnight in the Central Time Zone.
And soon they will take over that whole fucking network because everyone's getting sick of what everyone is saying and fucking has to say on that show.
You don't know this, but you're feeding directly into his conversation.
I know. I love these guys, but she does not. So she tweeted out a whole bunch of shit about saying like, welcome to ESPN, welcome to the ESPN family, Barstool Big Cat. And along with that, she tweeted a couple of quotes that she tried to attribute to Dan Katz, Big Cat, that were not him. But it was another guy that works at Barstool. So she's calling out Barstool for being pieces of shit and being misogynist, whatever, saying that they objectify women, which is a valid point. But it was not Big Cat, and it was not PFT. It was not either of them. And she is completely incapable of separating the people who she will be working with going forward and their employer or their brand. That I listened to Pardon My Take, which is their podcast. It has nothing to do with the rest of Barstool. Would you agree with that, Mark?
I agree. Yes.
Because generally speaking, Mike Portnoy and the rest of those guys, like Portnoy is the president of Barstool. I think he's a dickhead. I don't like the guy. He's a shitbag, whatever. That doesn't mean that I can't enjoy someone else that works at the same company that he does.
That has something interesting to say for the most part and is humorous.
My point is, Sam Ponder, you work for ESPN, who does the body issue every year in their ESPN magazine. Like, you're going to talk about objectifying women, and that's not objectifying people. You work for Disney, who has done countless questionable things. I work for a law firm. I don't agree with all of the takes that my law firm has. I don't agree with all of the positions that they defend. You cannot paint somebody into a corner based on who they are employed by.
I agree.
Guilt by association.
It's a false equivalency. Mm-hmm. You cannot say just because you are employed by this company that you are equal. It's not the same.
It's an indigenous point of view, but far too many people take it.
God damn it. Stop.
You know what? I want to look more into this because I think she thought it would be just an easy shot for her to take, because these two guys that are on Pardon My Take, that run Pardon My Take, the podcast, they're bros, and they're your typical bros that you would have the facade and think they are a certain way. And
see, I disagree with that somewhat, because the rest of the guys at Barstool are bros. They're the guys that are just like, let's do stupid takes on sports, not, oh, look at this chick in a bikini.
But your point was that she said these things, which has no relation to actual things that they said, had to do with someone else. Right. But I thought she thought it would be a quick jab to them because no one would argue it, just knowing like the personalities of these
the guilt
two guys that run the show. Yeah. Even though it wasn't them, I feel like she thought she could get away with it. Which
pretty much, yeah. And
I hope she doesn't.
See, the thing is, if you're going to come at somebody on the internet for being a little bit edgy, you better make sure that your history is squeaky fucking clean.
Anything that ends with ist. Anything that ends with
you
ist.
were talking to me earlier about Cam Newton. And
yes. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, well.
Sorry.
Well, no. Here it was, from what I understand the situation of that. Cam Newton stepped on his crank. He fucked up when a reporter asked him.
I saw that
2 or 3 weeks ago.
I disliked him way prior to that.
But she asked, the female reporter asked a very good and a very solid question. what do you think about how one of your wide receivers is running his routes? And it was set up for him to just knock it out of the park. The question was set up for him to succeed. And instead he was like, it's funny hearing a female talk about routes, which makes him a dickhead.
Yes.
It absolutely makes him a dickhead.
Yes, I agree.
And, she later on said that I talked to him one-on-one after that or something along these lines. I'm not quoting him, paraphrasing, and that it didn't get much better. So what people did was, instead of saying, hey, Cam Newton fucked up, which he did, let's go into her entire internet history. Let's see if she's ever said anything wrong. And lo and behold, over the years of her time on the internet, of course, everyone said something terrible. And I'm not justifying. I'm not saying she was I'm not rationalizing what she said or what she didn't say or any of her history, but they're using that to negate it. Now people are using her stories or the girl who was, it happened to be in case with the Cam Newton scenario where like, okay, well, she had this one tweet in 2012 and it was terrible. So now Cam Newton's not wrong. Or this one person had a tweet on hot takes or whatnot. So everything here is terrible. But it's the sweeping generalizations. It's the guilt by association. It's the holier than thou that, oh, you've said something wrong online, which we all have.
Fingers back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's
you live in a glass house.
Glass house.
Don't throw the stones. Nobody is clean. But so don't act like you are completely absolved of all of these things. The level of internet outrage that exists today at this exact moment is higher than it's ever been. And a week from now, it'll be even higher.
Because that's
regardless of what happens.
The level of internet access is higher than it's ever been before. And a week from now, the level of internet access is going to be greater due to Facebook, Twitter, and all the different access of, social media. But it's an issue where when Cam Newton's situation happened, he was wrong. And what he said was offensive. And it was right for a whole lot of people to say, hey, that's fucked up. Versus the situation you're talking about where the guilt by association, hey, people who are wrong, therefore you must be wrong because you haven't, disassociated yourself far enough.
Right.
Now, there's certain times where saying, hey, you know what, this is fucked up and you shouldn't do this is okay. Shaming someone for what they said 4 years ago due to a current situation isn't always right.
Yes,
now,
I agree with that.
The Cam Newton situation, Cam Newton was wrong as hell. He'll admit it. What her history is doesn't matter. The importance is his comments.
The one thing I'll say about that is I think that people that step up on top of that pedestal and say, you can't do this, I'm holding you to a standard, you better not be below that standard.
Now that's fair, but I don't think that in the Newton situation that the reporter was on a pedestal herself. She just happened to be the one that the incident happened to.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay, which is completely
I'm not
different.
Blaming her for this.
Yeah,
and I don't agree that this took a lot of pressure off of Cam Newton, which it shouldn't have.
No.
How did we even end up here? I was saying fuck Sam Ponder.
And she's probably going to wind up professionally regretting what she's done.
I'm sure, and she had to go back and apologize for some old tweets about her family being racist and whatever. So dumb. Why would you bring this attention upon yourself against two guys who have done nothing wrong and have been nothing but funny? To me, it feels like insecurity, maybe, because they came on and they destroy the time slot, by the way, because the numbers already came out and like they have a huge following. Why? Of course, ESPN's going to bring them on. They're just two idiots that make bad jokes about sports, and they're hilarious.
I, at the same time, don't think it's necessarily about Barstool. I think she thought she could throw this quick jab at them just because of everything that's been going on in the world as well. All the high tension there is, she probably thought this was an easy little thing to throw out there. So
how do you get yourself known?
By causing controversy.
Mm-hmm. You put yourself in the press, better or worse, and you can take a look at what's going on in our current environment, various different places. You put yourself in the middle of a story, you put yourself in the middle of a situation, or you create it, and you're in the press. I had never heard that name.
Sam Ponder, really?
I never heard
a different name. But when she was bigger at ESPN, she had a different name.
Okay, and that's fair.
I'm totally blanking on what it was. But yes, I get it. I knew the name. Just she's a football correspondent. All right. Whatever, doesn't matter.
See, if Eric Bischoff from WCW's got a book called Controversy Creates Cash.
It does.
And that's what WCW existed upon for a long time. Same with WWE. And if you're mid to low level at anywhere and you're trying to climb up that ladder, you're trying to make your name known, there's way too many places, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, anything like that, you give a hot take, whether or not it's legitimate, whether or not it's valid, whether or not it's researched.
Yeah.
All you need to do is throw it out there, and now your name is known.
I think that'll probably wrap that section up.
Thank God. I'm going to just keep digging myself into a fucking hole.
I just think that this is the lowest form of, hey, look at me.
But we're in a hey, look at me society right now.
And I'm not proud of that.
Hey, listen to us.
Yeah, I was going to say.
On our podcast
right now, so
yeah, that's fair.
Hey, look at me. Can we?
I'd prefer they not look at me. I sound better than I look.
I would also prefer to not look at you. Shall we get into the news for the week, gentlemen?
Leave all of that in.
We will. All right. We got a release date for the Punisher series coming to Netflix, and it's going to be...
I didn't think we got a release date.
November 17th.
Really? When was this? Today?
This was today. So
You
luckily,
nerd.
literally nothing else big is happening that weekend.
Are you being facetious?
I might
Is that
be.
Justice League?
Yes, it is.
Fuck you, man. I'm going to see Justice League.
And then you're going to
Was
go
that
and
your
watch the
Jason
Punisher.
Momoa impression?
No, that was just my, hey, man, you're a dick.
That's why I was asking if it was your Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know damn well that you're going to go see Justice League Thursday night and then watch Punisher all weekend.
Probably.
I just thought it was interesting. I think maybe Marvel was sitting on this for a while and they're just like, yeah, fuck them.
Now
That's
you,
kind of a dick move.
you and I were talking about this, and I do agree it's a dick move. I would have released Punisher Halloween weekend. It feels like the right time for Punisher to come out. And you don't have to worry about, hey, are they just doing this to fuck with DC?
So Halloween's on a Tuesday. So
Okay.
you're saying the weekend before?
Release it the last week of October.
So that's Stranger Things weekend.
That's a fair point.
So
and as
that-
I've not seen a single episode of Stranger Things, so
You should.
okay, that's fair.
It's very good.
You and I have talked about
But
how
that-
little
That is going to be
television I've
taking
watched.
all the attention for the next
Yeah,
3
and
weeks.
I would
Okay.
guess that they want at least a 2-week window between Stranger Things and The Punisher. Those are two pretty big releases.
But the other problem is if you go 2 weeks on the opposite side of Justice League, you're going to walk right into Star Wars.
Yes, exactly, which is why I think they're willing to go head-to-head with Justice League and not care. They don't want to compete with their own content. They want to compete with other people's content.
But here's the thing. It's Netflix. Netflix, it's not like The Punisher's only going to be out for 5 or 6 weeks.
At what point do you stop recording the views and contribute? Like, at a certain point, if they're going to greenlight season 2 of The Punisher,
Mhm.
they need to take a look at how many people viewed it, how many people binged it, and make a decision and say, yes, let's do another season of this. You want as many views as soon as possible.
So then why do you release it the same weekend as one of the most hyped comic book movies of all time?
Because that's going to be 2 hours of your weekend, and The Punisher is going to be, I think, 13.
Now, are you thinking they're relying on people going to watch Justice League? Wait, hold on. Going to watching Justice League, enjoying it, thinking, I love this comic book movie stuff. I want more. And
Oh, God, I hope not, because they will be severely disappointed. Those are two very different stories.
No, they're very different stories, but it's if you enjoy a comic book movie, if you enjoyed Iron Man, are you going to want to watch Captain America?
That's a possibility, but those are more in the same vein as opposed to Justice League being not murdery.
Have you seen what's going to happen to all of Darkseid's little minions?
Yeah, but they're not people.
They're not people.
The Punisher kills people.
Are they people or are they mobsters?
Both?
I mean, they're humans.
Look,
It's the
I
Panther
get what
verse.
you're saying, but I disagree with you. I think that people...
Typical.
Yes. But usually I don't get what you're saying. Either way, this is coming out the same weekend as Justice League, okay? Stop arguing with me.
That will never happen. It's been 10 plus years and it's never once happened.
We also got a new trailer for the Black Panther, which is coming February 16th.
That looks sweet.
The trailer, the teaser that came before this with the Run the Jewels song, I like that one better, just because it left more to the imagination. Not to say that I didn't enjoy this one, but I am very much looking forward to this movie. I think it looks fucking awesome.
Coming out, what, next year? Like February or something?
I literally just said the release date.
It's taking Deadpool. it's basically taking the Deadpool slot for the Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah, which I think that
Which
Marvel,
is February, right? Right.
Cool. It's my brother's birthday.
Marvel is doing this over and over again.
February?
So Deadpool, I'm sorry. What do we
Specifically
Gambit.
Valentine's Day.
Gambit's coming out Valentine's Day 2019.
Don't lie to me. Gambit's never coming out.
If you listen to this podcast, you would know that it got a release date and a director.
How many times has Gambit had a director?
It has never had a release date.
That's why I asked about the director.
It's Gore Verbinski.
Isn't that a Russian author?
There's been a disturbance in the kitchen.
No.
No one's in the kitchen. We're in a living room right now.
Nobody has Black Panther thoughts. I get it.
Okay, no. The first Black Panther trailer, I agree, was better. I do like this Black Panther trailer as far as it shows more of Wakanda. It makes me far more interested in seeing what's going on there. I'm very excited to see it. It's of the current Marvel slate, it's the movie I'm most excited for.
You're more excited for this than Thor.
I'm more excited for this than Thor. I'm more excited for this than the next Avengers movie, even knowing what's coming with that, because it's the most different.
You're wrong, but
so am I wrong because I'm more excited for this than Thor or the next Avengers movie?
both.
Really? You're more excited for Thor than Black Panther?
I love Thor, man.
I do too, but I'm not excited about the trailers, and I'm more excited about the possibilities of Black Panther than Thor 3.
Thor's been so developed over the years too, and now we know the Hulk's going to be in this, and there's going to be this clash, and it's going to be funny and intense and whatever. That's what I'm looking forward to. I don't have enough background as to the characters in Black Panther. Yes, Black Panther was in what? Civil War?
He was.
That was his cameo?
That was his debut.
His debut. Okay. That's all we know so far.
No, I don't disagree with that. But with everything that's been the background, the history of Thor, you take a look at Thor 1, Thor 2, and both of the Avenger movies prior to this, and tell me Ragnarok looks anything like those.
No, not at all, because it's a Taika Waititi movie.
No, and that's fair. But it makes me think that, okay, this is going to be a little bit different than the traditional Thor movies. It's going to be more Guardians of the Galaxy than a Thor movie based off just the color scheme, the way that everything about the trailers have looked.
Very 80s, yeah.
And I kind of get it, but I don't know what Black Panther is going to be.
Yeah.
Which gives me a whole lot of, I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with this. I have a whole lot of questions. I'm pretty sure I know where Thor is going to go, but I have no idea what's going to happen with Black Panther. That's why I'm more excited about it.
Do you know anything about the comic books on either side?
They're made of paper.
This is a Planet Hulk movie?
I know it's a Planet Hulk movie, but they can't do it because they don't own the distribution rights.
No, it's Planet Hulk. They're on Sakaar. It's Planet Hulk.
You've
got Korg.
No, like
it's Planet Hulk.
I'm aware it's a Planet Hulk movie, partially.
Nerd
because
fight.
Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But because Marvel doesn't own the distribution rights to a Hulk movie, they can't have a standalone Hulk movie.
Does.
Thank you. So that's why they're incorporating it with it. So you're taking a Planet Hulk movie and a Thor movie, mash it into one. They're making another team, which is why you have,
you
Thor
jump
making,
right over the issue there. Yeah.
Thor's making a joke about, oh, we're a team. We're the Revengers. We're the Revengers. So there's a whole bunch of jokes. They're doing a whole bunch of mashups. And I'm excited to see it. And I've heard it's hilarious. But I'm more excited for Black Panther.
I think the cast in Black Panther is going to be better. The problem I had with the second trailer is that the CG isn't on point yet. Obviously, they're not done editing yet.
It needs to be adjusted.
Again, I'll say the first trailer looked better than this one.
No, the first trailer I thought looked better, and it left me with a whole lot more like, let's see where this goes. And I feel like the second trailer leads way too much to, is this another Iron Man 1?
Okay.
Him fighting essentially him again.
Yes.
They're fighting in the damn near the same costumes.
It's mostly the same costume. And that's the whole point of it, is that they're in the same tribe.
But then you had Iron Man 1, you had Ant-Man, and I haven't seen it yet, but essentially from what I understand, Doctor Strange is the same way, where is this essentially Iron Man 1 again and again and again.
And that's the knock against Marvel movies, is that the villain is usually weak. We should probably move on.
Feel like this segment has gone awry.
I could argue with you for a very long time.
Also kind of feel like that's the point of this episode.
So to further prove that you're wrong,
go on.
Kevin Feige says that we're getting 3 individual Hulk movies.
No, he did not say we're getting 3 individual Hulk movies. He said that there is a 3-arc trilogy. Like, the Hulk movies will not be individual. They're going to be a trilogy of Hulk instances across movies. There will not be an individual Hulk movie.
I stand by it.
Go ahead.
I stand by it. Because we're going to get World War Hulk.
We're not getting World War Hulk.
Yes, we are.
Not how you want it to be.
Oh!
And say we get World War Hulk.
It's going to Doctor Strange all you want, but Hulk's going to come in and break his magical hands and say, go fuck yourself.
But what you're saying is, what you said was you're getting a trio of Hulk standalone movies.
So no, I didn't.
That's what you implied.
So you're going into semantics now.
No, it's not semantics. It's important.
This is the evidence of a weak argument.
Because you, as you've already stated, know that Marvel does not own the distribution rights to a Hulk movie, right?
But they do own the Hulk character.
They own the Hulk character. So they will include, there's going to be a 3-part arc for the Hulk, but it's not going to be his own movie.
Right now what they're going to be. The next Doctor Strange movie,
by the way, he's guessing,
is actually going to be Planet Hulk.
When's the next Doctor Strange movie come out?
Hulk.
When's the next Doctor Strange movie come out?
Avengers Infinity War Part 2.
So
Part 2? Okay, so you're talking 3 to 4 years from now.
Yes.
Okay, so you're assuming that the plan stays on course. Now, in
Mark
the meantime,
Ruffalo is contracted for 3 more of these
now
movies.
in the meantime, there's going to be multiple movies in between Avengers 3 and Avengers 4, right?
So you're going to get Captain Marvel,
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
which
Doctor
will have
Strange
nothing to do with the
2.
Hulk.
Is Doctor
Doctor
Strange
Strange
2
2
before or after 4?
after.
After 4?
If memory serves, yes.
Okay. I agree that there is going to be a 3-part Hulk storyline, but they're not individual movies. He's going to be in 3 other people's movies because that way they don't
You're
have to pay
arguing
anyone.
semantics.
I'm arguing facts.
No, you're not.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
How?
Because semantics. Why did I invite you here?
So we can go to a Packer game?
Netflix is slated to spend $8 billion next year on original content, which includes 30 new anime series. I'm looking at you.
You like
and
anime?
80
Who doesn't?
original movies.
Who doesn't?
So all of this is coming on the tail of the news of a price hike,
I'm pissed.
which when you look at it,
No, that is not cute.
And my boss has told you.
technically that's like a 10% price increase.
But it's also adjusted for inflation.
Not when you
I'm
steal a
not-
login.
I'm not getting into this.
Okay.
They're raising their prices so that they can make more money.
Well, yeah.
Wait, you guys
Which
stop.
company?
You guys almost argued right there about the price hike.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not doing this.
No,
because we're already running very
I
low.
was gone from Eastern. I left Eastern in 2009. For about 3 years, all the two of us did was argue. That's the foundation of our friendship. Is
We got into a slap fight once.
we got into a slap fight once. I thought we were going to be able to
Slap
skip
boxing.
over that. No, straight up hitting each other on 6th Street. And then in the house in front of cameras, just because we knew we were in front of cameras.
Pretty much.
Not our best call, but also not the worst.
I also stabbed you in the eye with a fork.
One time, and I'm still kind of pissed off.
Yet.
That's a fair threat right there.
I don't know what else to say about this. I would prefer, I think. So what do you think the hit rate on good Netflix TV shows and movies is? Give me a percentage.
Now,
60%?
No, 71.
I'll tell you what though, if it's a 60% hit rate of good to bad, then
They're doing better than most.
then they're
networks.
making good investments, and the slight increase is worth it.
Yeah. But they could also be more selective of what they bring on and also keep more of the network content that I would like to see. They recently lost Futurama, 30 Rock. I mean, just to name a few.
But how much, like a lot of that's not up to Netflix. That's the companies pulling their individual content away.
That's-
like what's going on with Disney, as we discussed earlier.
Okay, but those two that I just named
Mhm.
went to Hulu just because they got a higher bid.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Content is obviously the future. The more options you have, the more opportunities you have, the more money you stand to make. If I'm going to give you, like, you like anime, hypothetically, I like anime factually. If I give myself 60
Indigenously.
options, indigenously, I have 60 indigenous options to choose from, and I find 3 that I like. Is that worth paying 10% more a year?
Of course it is.
Because I know where it is. I know where to find it, and I can binge it.
They are counting specifically on the fact that more and more people are cutting cable.
They're counting on that. They're also counting on the fact that people, once they enroll, will not disenroll
And
because
I
it's
wouldn't
a process.
over $1. And that's
Yeah,
that's what's brilliant
No.
about it.
I have several shares of them, so I hope they continue to make more profits. With your situation, you don't have cable, right?
Nope.
You've got Hulu
I
and you've
had
got
it for
Netflix.
3 years.
Okay. And you have everything you want, right?
Pretty much.
Now you're basically already ahead of the curve. So for
One could say that.
one could say that. I'm going to say that. For $1 extra a month, essentially.
I'm not gonna cancel my Netflix and call up Comcast
No.
and be like, oh, I went on a fucking rant last week about Comcast. I'm not gonna do it again, but
And I'm going to give you
God damn it, can't
another $1 billion worth of options. And even if you only like,
$8 billion.
well, it's what they spent, $6 or $7 billion this year. What's the increase?
Next year's 8. That's
Yeah.
the budget.
So but if you're increasing it $1 billion, which I think is what they're increasing it, I'm going to give you $1 billion more options of content.
Not mad about it.
It's common sense. You freaking take that and you hope you enjoy 2 to 3 animes a year.
2 to 3. That's
2 to 3 animes a
I
year.
think that's fair.
That's worth
considering
$1.
That's 10% of the animes. That's the price increase. So
Makes complete sense.
It's sometimes the math just works out,
sometimes.
which is
All right.
weird because I don't work out math.
Does it just work out though?
I don't know.
My last bit of news, and then I swear we'll move on. The Han Solo movie, the Han Solo movie, has officially gotten a title, and it will be called Solo.
Solo.
Thanks for that, Mark. That's the first thing you said in about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
true.
probably what
I saw the whatever it was. It wasn't even like a movie poster. It was just the
It's just a
Solo
fucking
logo.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought it was a rap album when I saw it.
Did anyone ever think it was going to be called anything other than Solo?
No. Maybe Han,
No.
but then people think Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
I hate you so much right now. How dare you compare the two Hans?
Don't bring up Han, Mike.
So I think
I
that
got
the
family.
one actual noteworthy piece out of this is that Ron Howard was tweeting something out earlier this week. He referenced Tag and Bank. I asked you earlier, Tofte, you know more about Star Wars than anyone else I've ever met because you read all the books because you're a huge nerd and you didn't have sex until you were 30.
I disagree.
32.
I think my cousin knows more about than you. Actually, that would be a great show to have my
I was
cousin
about
from
to
the
say-
side.
find him.
I was about to say I would love to see that conversation, but that would be terrible.
It would be absolutely terrible. Just thinking
It
about
won't
right
get
now.
downloads. I can promise you that. But I'm interested.
I can promise you no downloads will be downloaded.
Whatever the next bet we make is, the loser has to sit in on that conversation.
There will be
All right.
two things that do not happen during that argument. Downloads,
Sex.
heterosexual intercourse.
So anyways, Tag and
Specifically.
Bink. Tag and Bink it was originally a comic book series in the mid 2000s. So Tag and Bink are basically a couple of fuck ups and they're a part of the rebellion and they get captured and they steal these stormtrooper outfits and they kind of try and blend in to break out.
Sounds like a lot of Star Wars movies.
The whole point of this is that they continuously fuck up, but it benefits the rebellion consistently. I'm very, very far out of middle school. The comparison here is the Hamlet pair, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Ah, yes, obviously. Rosenstein.
Guildenstern. Rosencrantz and
Indigenous.
Guildenstern. I don't fucking know. I haven't read Hamlet. I'm not going to pretend. But apparently they're two. You know what? I'm just going to cut this anyway.
To be or not
No, keep
to
going.
be.
Keep going. This needs to stay.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Rosenstein and Goldenkrantz.
Gurdon.
Turkergerbs.
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 Dirk Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson. Okay, continue.
That's all I got. Ron Howard tweeted out a picture of these two guys that are apparently going to play Tag and Bank. That's all I got.
You and I had a slightly different opinion on this. As a huge Star Wars nerd, could not care less.
You are also holding on to all of the knowledge of the books you read that are officially not canon anymore.
Damn treated.
He's not wrong. I'm sitting here treated with my wife recently fucked. But that doesn't dispute the fact that you have tertiary characters in a comic book series that is how old?
They had their own series. They're not tertiary. They were main characters.
Initially, they were a tertiary character, right?
It's about a 10-year-old comic book.
Okay. So it's been a bit. It's
Yeah,
been a
sure.
bit. So you're going to try and get a mainstream audience sold on essentially second or third tier characters.
In the movie, in the Han Solo movie,
Yes.
they're tertiary characters.
Well, they're not worried about selling those comic books from 10 years ago. They're
No.
trying to get people to go want to see Solo, a Han Solo film.
This is more of a
Star Wars
nod
story.
to actual Star Wars nerds as opposed to you.
Ooh.
You know what? Honestly, of all the things you've ever told me, that might be the most offensive.
No.
I have nothing else to say about Star Wars. I repeat, I have nothing else to say about
May I ask one question?
what?
Are you generally excited for The Last Jedi?
Could take it or leave it.
So you don't already have tickets.
No, I do not.
You're not going to go watch it.
I'll go see it the night it comes out, that Thursday. I'll go see it.
You're not curious to go see it specifically to see what's different from the trailers because you know that's deceptive. Ed.
We talked about this last
Yes.
week about how it's basically the whole thing is a misdirect.
Absolutely.
So yes, of course I'm going to go see it. It's a blockbuster movie. There isn't going to be shit else out that week except for maybe Jumanji.
Jumanji.
And I'm definitely not going to go see
Who's in Jumanji?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Okay, we're seeing that.
Kevin
Yeah.
Hart. Karen Gillan.
Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Did he mention Karen Gillan?
Yeah.
Also her legs. That's the right sound effect for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You haven't Googled it.
All right. Are we doing this fall preview or what?
We're going to start that right fucking now because this is very long.
Segment 5?
I feel like Joe Rogan right now.
Seriously, we're getting that.
You're not
3
that
hours.
creepy.
This dude is such a bitch to edit.
Hey
I'm just
guys,
gonna
this
cut-
one's 4 hours
I'm just
long.
going to cut all of your fucking arguments. So, we had the option of either going to see Geostorm,
Nope.
starring Gerard Butler,
Absolutely not.
or doing a fall preview. So, we've done this once in the past with our friend Gaz from
Open
All Powers, and we decided we would do another fall update of this. Why are you looking at me like a pedophile?
What do you want to say?
I still want to see Geostorm.
All right. Moving on.
I got my movie pass.
I mean,
and
Gerard Butler is in Geostorm.
I will definitely go see this. I hope he Spartan kicks someone out of an airplane.
It's the day after tomorrow plus abs.
What is the movie where he stabs the guy in the jugular with the T-bone steak?
It's
Prisoners.
a law-abiding citizen.
A
law-abiding citizen.
Yeah,
which, by the way, is a great movie.
Very
I
good
love that
revenge.
movie.
A quietly great movie.
If you haven't seen it, see it.
How will we, I said we weren't going to talk about Geostorm.
You said we had options.
Right.
We chose differently than you
We are
wished us
not
to.
going to see Geostorm.
No, sorry guys.
We might not.
So instead, we're going to do our fall movie, TV, whatever preview. Mark, please get us started. We have not talked in at least 30 minutes.
This true. This one was a little hard though, because besides blockbusters, which we are shunning away from, we're not talking about Justice League.
I don't need to tell somebody to go see Star Wars.
We've already talked actually about that on this podcast. We're not talking about Thor, even though we already talked about that on the podcast. So other than that, I was looking at the movies coming out in the next 2 months, basically. We have Pitch Perfect 3.
Great.
Which may be a movie pass movie to go see, I guess.
First of all, everything is a movie pass movie from now on. Because I just got my card in the mail and I cannot wait.
Yeah, that one's called Last Call Pitches. Pitch Perfect 3.
I've never seen
one.
that's the actual title?
That is the actual title of the movie, yeah.
So I've never seen a Pitch Perfect movie.
Neither have I.
I have. They're actually not that bad.
I've heard 2 is bad. I've heard 2 is bad compared to 1.
You would like 2 because it has Dude-ass from Green Bay in it.
Aaron Rodgers. Clay Matthews, yes.
It has Aaron Bacchio. It has it has basically their entire offensive line with Clay Matthews.
Nobody has Aaron Rodgers in it right now.
Also the Dude-ass.
The Dude-ass. Moving on. So my point was, movies, nothing that great is coming out besides obviously the big blockbusters. So I'm going to move on to TV. So releasing on Netflix November 22nd, I believe, is a show called Godless that I'm looking forward to. Jeff Daniels is starring in that one.
I did watch the teaser trailer for this today.
What'd you think?
It looks interesting. I don't know that I'm more so waiting for Westworld to come back.
Is that what you thought of instantly?
Of course. It's the only Western that's come out recently that I gave a shit about.
Yeah. So anyways, Jeff Daniels starring in this. Set during the 1880s. It's a Western drama. We have gangs, shootouts, cowboys, fucking wives, shit like that. So it's going to be great.
Tofte, do you want to?
No, I got more.
I know. We're going to kind of go in a circle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Fuck you, though.
I want to point out that was him who did that to you, not me.
I know. He cut me off. I haven't talked for 30 minutes. And all right, moving on.
Yeah, and I'm already
I also apologize for that. I know much of that is my fault. Primarily, I'm mostly interested in, I'm a Star Wars guy, so I'm mostly interested in the
Big Star Wars
Last
guy.
Jedi. The one that I saw that kind of interests me, other than Jumanji and Karen Gillan's legs, there's the Disaster Artist coming out.
Yes.
And the Disaster Artist, correct me if I'm wrong, is basically a movie about the movie The Room.
Correct. Which is widely regarded as the worst movie ever made. I've seen a lot of clips. I've never seen The Room. Yeah. I've seen a lot of clips with Tommy Wiseau and him being a complete moron and a terrible actor.
I know it's memeable. And I still don't know, would you say that you think it's worse than Manchester by the Sea?
Don't get me started on that.
But it's
you're lucky that Mark isn't in the room because we would be going ape shit on each other.
Okay, that's fair.
Look,
but I think he's coming just for this conversation.
He mentioned Manchester by the Sea.
I did. He's not by microphone right now, thankfully.
What about
it? And see, to me, the worst movie I think I've ever seen is The Ninth Gate.
I've never seen that.
Don't, because at one point in time I realized that the dude was pulling different cigarettes out of the same pack. Some of them were filtered, some of them were not, but it was the exact same pack. That's how bad the movie is.
Have you ever seen Trolls 2?
I've never seen Trolls 1.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the animated series or the? Okay, now that I know which. Okay, now I know which Trolls. Have you seen Rumpelstiltskin? You should not. Same with Swim Fan 2. It's just awful. I'm very interested in the Disaster Artist just because of the cast and what they're doing. The
production team cast, looks great.
It should be fantastic satire.
Have you or will you see The Room before you go see this?
We'll see. It's. I believe it. Is it a Netflix movie or is it going to be a wide release?
It's going to be a wide release.
If I was to go see it in theater, I would want to see The Room first because I need to know. You need to know what they're satiring before you go see it.
Satirizing.
Yeah. Satiricizing.
I want to see The Room before I see this, and I know that it's going to be terrible, and I don't care.
The Disaster Artist makes me want to see The Room.
I guess we should say it's a Seth Rogen movie. James Franco.
Yeah.
It's
a spoof.
those guys. Yeah. Oh, that entire group of guys, I assume, will be in it.
The movie is pretending to be the actual filming process of making.
It's a mockumentary.
Yes. And then the other one was the movie about Ted Kennedy. I'm really curious to see what they do with it based off they're talking about the incident where he was in a car accident that cost the life of a young female. And I'm very interested to see how they handle that and whether it's
Is this a movie about Bruce Jenner?
Could be.
No, it's a female. Please delete that.
Nope.
But it's Ted Kennedy was in a car accident that cost the life of a young female. And his response to that was very less than stellar, but he's a Kennedy and he was the last line of the Senate. He was untouchable. And it's something that got really swept over. And based off just kind of reading the synopsis about it online, I'm very curious to see if they treat it as a tragedy, what happened to the young lady, or a tragedy, how it hampered Ted Kennedy's political career.
I can take a guess at that.
I can too.
And it's not going to be the one you want it to be.
I don't think it's going to be the one it should be. Because someone lost their life and someone lost the opportunity to be president. I feel like one of those is a little bit worse. Yeah. So I'm very, very curious to see how it is. And that'll probably be one I watch by myself out of curiosity whilst drinking angrily.
I'm going to change this up a little bit. I personally am excited for the Netflix original movie Bright.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. So this is coming December 22nd, directed by David Ayer, who did Fury, End of Watch, the original Fast and Furious, SWAT. So he's very well known. This movie had a $90 million budget out of Netflix. So this is essentially a blockbuster.
A lot.
We saw fucking Happy Death Day last week. $5 million budget.
Really?
Yeah. So imagine.
How much did they make?
$15 million in the opening weekend.
That's the way to do it.
Makes my heart hurt. But yeah, the thing about Netflix movies is you never know how they actually do. You don't know how many people watch them.
Yeah.
This is basically a fantasy world with like orcs, fairies, other weird creatures, and elves and witches and shit. So Will Smith is a human cop who is paired up with his orc partner that's played by Joel Edgerton. It's pretty obvious what the premises here. It's going to be a take on racism, prejudice, etc. I'm just hoping that they don't do it heavy-handedly and that it's more than just, oh, we need to get over our differences and work together. I would like to see something a little deeper than that, but also I haven't seen a trailer for a Will Smith movie that I've been excited about in a long time. The effects look good. I guess I'm giving a little bit of credit to Netflix here before, putting the cart before the horse.
Just do. Yeah.
I get the feeling it's kind of got that Fifth Element feeling to it where Mila Jovovich was like the key to things, right? And now there's another person in this trailer who I don't really recognize the actor. I feel bad.
The person with the wand?
Exactly. So they're tracking down this magic wand, and it could be a person, it could be a thing, I don't really know. That's what's intriguing about it to me. But if it has that Fifth Element intrigue to it, I'm all in. I'm
looking forward to that one too. I didn't even think about it. We actually talked about that, a couple episodes ago when the trailer dropped, yeah. All right. So I didn't necessarily keep this confined to movies or TV shows premiering, but Rocky 1 through 5 is going to come out on Hulu in November. So you're going to have access to Rocky 1 through 5, just so you know, in case you were wondering, you're a Rocky fan like me.
I didn't know that I needed that.
You do need it, though.
Did you hear that Stallone is going to direct Creed 2?
That's great. Did you see Creed?
I did.
It wasn't bad.
No, he didn't direct it, though.
No, he did not. It was Ryan Coogler who was doing Black Panther.
I'm going to stay confident and think he'll be okay directing Creed 2.
I will.
He did write Rocky.
Over under 50%, Rocky dies in this one.
No, because he's going to want to make a Creed 3.
He's going to want to keep going.
Flashbacks. And he can still direct it.
What if he comes back as a ghost?
Force Ghost? Going to be him and Yoda?
Think about it.
Try and stop me from thinking about it.
All right. I'm going to do one more Hulu. I kind of segmented them by Netflix, which I talked about Godless. Hulu, we got Rocky 1 through 5. Also, this show called Future Man. I'm looking forward to this because I have no idea what the fuck it is even about.
Explain it to me.
Reading by it is about this guy who's a janitor by day, world-ranked gamer by night, and he's tasked with preventing the extinction of humanity after mysterious visitors from the future proclaim him to be the key in defeating an imminent super race invasion.
This was a Gerard Butler movie. This was Gamer.
Yes.
Are you sure it's not Geostorm?
It might be
Okay.
It might be 300. I don't know.
It might be Gamerstorm.
That sounds terrible.
I have no idea what the fuck it is, but I'm probably going to watch the first episode of it and see what it's about.
I feel like that's 100%. It's going to be fantastic or terrible.
There's
no middle ground with that. No.
True.
No.
I'm going to bring this one up real quick because I don't think you really watch Hulu shows. Marvel Runaways. Did you hear about this one?
Dude, I talked about this on a fucking podcast.
What one?
Which podcast?
Was I there?
Was it the Chumpcast or?
I'm fairly certain you were there because I told you there was a girl that has a telekinetic link with a dinosaur.
Possibly.
Go on.
I was maybe looking at my phone.
1,000,000% remember telling you this.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the first one to actually talk about this on the podcast. Yeah, Marvel's Runaways coming out on Hulu.
All right, I got one other thing I'm going to hit on, and it's, Mark, you actually mentioned this previously. It is the upcoming Bruce Willis movie, Death Wish.
Yes.
So we got Bruce Willis, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Hank from Breaking Bad, who plays a cop in this, he just typecast apparently, but directed by Eli Roth, who we actually talked about last week, being the director and producer of Hostel. So maybe it'll be grossly violent, which, Mark, I know I've got your attention.
Yes.
So this is based on the original Charles Bronson movies of the same name, actually. And
He was terrible, but great in those. Yes.
Now-
I love those movies.
Now, the only thing I've heard is, now granted, the trailer that we watched earlier looks fantastic. I'm very interested in the trailer. I want to see this movie.
Willie.
I've heard that this trailer looks completely different from the first Death Wish starring Charles Bronson from way back
Shouldn't
when.
it, though? I mean,
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
Do you
40
think it
years
looks
later?
well, yeah, but it looks not necessarily that that time frame is different, but that the plot itself is different.
So let me get into the plot a little bit here, and we'll dissect. Mark, maybe
The plot in the original movies are way over the top. It's kind of like the Warriors type where you have gangs taking over the whole city. I understand. What they're going to do with these movies is they're going to make gangs a prominent figure in the community, whatever.
The antagonist.
Yeah. But in the actual original Bronson movies, they literally ran the whole town. There was no cops or anything. It was unrealistic to that aspect.
So in this version, Bruce Willis is going to play a doctor who lives in Chicago, and apparently during a break-in to his apartment, his wife is murdered and his daughter is sexually assaulted.
Are we 100% sure that Harrison Ford is not in this, and it's not the fugitive?
This is not.
But yes, I get the parallel.
Okay.
So Hank from Breaking Bad can't do anything. He's a Chicago cop. So Brew Willie decides to take the law into his old hands. So he goes and gets a couple of guns, starts shooting people. The whole premise is, or I guess in the trailer, you see Sway from MTV News and Mancow, who, if you're in Chicago, you know who Mancow is. They're on the radio talking about maybe he's not so bad. And of course, this is all going to come crashing down around him.
Yeah.
But I love a good revenge flick. I'm looking forward to this. I hope that Brew Willie can do better than the last Die Hard movie and anything else I've seen him in the last 10 years. Red 2, whatever. Cop Out.
Red though was pretty.
The original Red?
The first Red was good.
Pretty good.
I did not mind the second to last Die Hard movie.
All right. I won't get into the details on this, but I'm also looking forward to the Suburbicon movie that's coming out soon.
Let's go into the details about that. I'm fucking with you. Matt Damon. It looks very interesting.
It does really look interesting. I like Matt Damon. He does a lot of good things.
Do you know what's coming out this weekend?
Is it
specifically October 21st?
Geostorm?
On October 21st, this weekend, HBO Go or HBO Now is releasing John Wick Chapter 2 as one of their movies.
Okay.
So you have that to look forward to this weekend. Are you a John Wick fan?
I am a John Wick fan. We saw John Wick 2 the opening weekend, myself and the girlfriend. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good.
Very curious to see where John Wick 3 goes. I liked the amount of throwbacks they did, especially in the beginning, to the first John Wick. Really was impressed by that.
I've said this is a universe that I want to know everything about. You know, the coins, the Continental, all
the Continental's its own movie.
So
I'm blanking on his name, but the guy who runs the Continental, he could have his own spinoff there.
Yeah.
You could have a prequel about the how John Wick got his freedom.
John Wick before he met his wife.
There's all sorts of things you can do with this franchise, and one of the John Wick guys is directing Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Yep.
He's an ex-stuntman, actually.
So I'm very excited about the physical aspect of Deadpool 2. But yeah, John Wick 2, big fan.
All in.
Good
Great.
shit. Good shit. That's what I want to hear.
That wraps up our fall movie, TV, whatever preview. Let's get into the recommendations for this week. I will kick this off. I watched a movie on Netflix called It Follows. Have either of you seen this?
It looks scary. I want to watch it, but Kelly refuses to watch horror movies with me.
So let me give you the premise for this. I won't spoil it, but imagine if a ghost was an STD.
Don't tell me this ghost just fucks this person and
Go
follows it
on.
everywhere.
If you have sex with a person that is the last one to get this ghost, to quote unquote catch this STD, now this ghost or
Follows
monster,
you.
or it follows you slowly everywhere you go. It basically walks around and seeks out to kill the last person to catch it. And if it kills the last person to catch it, it goes to the person that gave it to that person.
This is The Ring with sex.
Yes.
So
Minus
this
the
should be
house.
titled "It Reverts Back."
It should be
Sure.
titled It Fucks.
Look, it's not a bad movie. It does fuck.
It
And-
fucks your wife.
Ooh, you know what? I was going to say that, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Ouch.
See, no, he's talking about something different than we were.
No,
I thought I was making
it
it.
definitely fucks your
Why would it fuck my wife other than she's hot as shit?
Jimmy, I have to fuck Trevor. Like, I already fucked you. It can't go back to you. I have to pass it on to Trevor. You just want to fuck him because you've always wanted to fuck my best friend.
I have
Jimmy, that's not
so
true.
many questions about what just happened.
I feel like that's going to
Mark
happen.
has a lot of pent up.
That's the
rage for guys
only
in trouble.
thing. That is the only actual segment that's making the broadcast.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Everyone wants to know about Trevor now.
everything I'll say about
Is
It
it Trevor
Follows is
Simeon?
that it's a very interesting premise. It's
fucks
it's
your
got
wife.
a really weird score that kind of does well for the suspense. I think it's worth checking out. Like I said, it's on Netflix. I think it came out in 2015.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's pretty cool. So check it out. I want to tell more about it, but I don't want to spoil it. So
Sounds kid. My recommendation is actually, we have just released our website, www.thechumcast.com. I'm recommending our website. I personally built it with some help from Smithers. I have to give him a little credit, even though he doesn't really deserve it.
also,
But-
we should give some credit to Andy from glitchup.com.
Yes, Andy, thank you very much from glitchup.com. Definitely check out his website. He helped me a lot as I was building it. But our website in general has a short-ish bio about ourselves. It has all of our episodes there that you can stream, you can listen, you can leave comments based on the episode. We'll reply. We're probably going to add a portion onto the website based off of the stupid questions of the week. Maybe
It's going to get a
based
lot longer based on this week.
Yes, exactly. So go check it out. All the content's there. Listen to all of our previous episodes on the website. It's cool to look at as well, but that is my recommendation. www.thechumcast.com.
As far as recommendations goes, one of them is actually a book series. And Smithers and I talked about this earlier, and it's the Vince Flynn book series about Mitch Rapp. American Assassin is a recent movie that came out.
Yep.
And it
Broest
is
movie of the
So
year.
bro, I broed
See,
my bro off.
I have not seen it because I am in love with the book series.
Okay.
And it's a long running series, and American Assassin was a prequel to some of the original books. The Mitch Rapp series is fantastic. So if you've never actually read any of the books or read any book ever, like my brother, so I will advocate any Vince Flynn book pretty much ever. The other thing I will advocate is going to be Team 4-Star. I showed Smithers some clips.
Team
of-
4-Star is my paintball league I just set up with a couple bros from... I'm just kidding. Sorry. Go
I
on.
have no idea what just happened, but
It
I love
sounds like a paintball league. Sounds
Team
like a paintball
4-Star,
team.
They do Bridge series on YouTube and also on their website. They do Dragon Ball Z Abridged. They do Hellsing Abridged, and they did one episode of Attack on Titan Abridged, and they just came out with the Hellsing Abridged episode, and it is very funny.
I feel like you've never heard of the abridged series.
I have
Absolute
not, and
haram.
that's why I looked at you. I'm like,
Dragon Ball Z
explain.
abridged is very much worth a watch.
So
Okay.
imagine you and Smithers took Dragon Ball Z, edited it, and dubbed over it, and made it your own series.
And smoked a bunch of weed first.
That had nothing to do with the primary concept of the previous story.
That's what Abridged is, though. Abridged is a couple of guys took a series and made it their own.
Is it,
They
is
took
it
the-
funny? Is there levity there?
It's
Is that
hysterical.
Okay.
That's
It's
a
That's
hysterical,
where-
yes.
and it does still kind
Yes.
of follow the storyline, like loosely.
The major points.
Frieza fucked my wife.
Well, Frieza absolutely fucked your wife, and that's fine. And Goku got revenge for that,
Ah.
and so did Trunks, but it was future Trunks, which is an important difference.
Cool.
No, they just came out with the Hellsing Abridged episode, which is fantastic. Absolute haram. But it's pretty damn good, and I would absolutely advocate.
Sorry,
that.
I cut you off. What is this on a website called
Team 4-Star?
Team
they're on
4-Star.
YouTube.
On YouTube.
Intermittently, YouTube keeps cutting them off due to copyright infringement. But so they have on the Team 4-Star website, they have Hellsing Abridged, they have Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and they also brought Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged over.
Oh, I fucking love Yu-Gi-Oh!
You watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
Well, thank you for joining us for this week. We'll go argue offline for a little while.
That is true.
Chumps out, motherfuckers! Thanks for coming on the show, Tofte.
When we met that summer, new kids on the block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I take her if I had one wish, but she's been gone since that summer.